Hi, my name is Eric Reinemer. Today's topic is called In Case the Wheels Come Off. In the life cycle of every business, some things don't go the way you've planned. It can be many things that can set back your business from your well thought out goals. It can be scary when it happens and you wonder if you'll survive. Here today we have two entrepreneurs, Peter and Allison Gray. They have a company, Strategic Simulation Solutions, a flight training center. They've experienced the wheels coming off and they've survived to tell their story today. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you for thinking of us when the wheels come off opportunity. Our current business is commercial flight training. So we're in a very fortunate position now with the economy on an uptick and the transportation industry being awarded the needs for purchasing aircraft. And so the demand for pilot training is now there. In 2005, the 9 simulator for the US Navy. And that program culminated around 2011 and handed the program over to a maintenance entity. So in 2012, 2013, we had to strategically change our model and we entered more the civil sector of flight training.
Could you describe for us one or two situations where you felt the wheels coming off in your business?
Back in 2005 we had other partners, and one of the things that we didn't really envision was that all partners didn't have the different financial ability.
Was the transition from a solid cash flow revenue program with the US Navy that provided effectively 90% of our company's revenue. So when that contract ended, we had to transition to a new opportunity, and the transition of that opportunity required the purchase of a Airbus A320 simulator from Gulf Air in Bahrain. We went through the path of utilising an SBA loan in the sum of just over $1 million. The challenge was that we ended up debt servicing on that device. So during the sale of their company, they were prohibited from making any capital contractual commitments, which meant the training commitment of 10 years to us entered into a hiatus period of a year whereby we had no revenue, but we obviously had the debt servicing. When you find yourself in a predicament whereby you have collateralized your home, you're at risk of losing it, you find the debts to figure a way out.
We've got to do that to move forward the company forward, and it's not until the banks are coming in and saying, okay, if you don't pay this, we're going to take your home. And that's when you really know you're up against it. And thinking that you're going to lose your home, you find a way. You found a way out for us. And you have to find a way.
Example of a situation that could have caused the wheels to come off in your business, but you caught it before the wheels came off.
Whereby when the customer came back to us, effectively 18 months later, our asset was no longer the asset they desired. So we were in a position whereby we had to move quickly to put in place a replacement asset. And what we did was we went to an OEM in the Netherlands, upgraded the Airbus A320 that we had to the new current standard for the airline to allow them to accomplish their training.
What strategies have you implemented to help your company should setbacks come your way and to avoid those?
What we have done, resources required to bring in the expertise to allow the the personnel within the company to focus on their core objectives, and to allow Alison and myself to focus on the financial state of health of the company, and for me to bring in expertise when making decisions that involve capital asset purchases and the strategic direction of where we want the company to go.
In your experience, what would you tell business owners about setbacks? Are they inevitable?
As a small business, we are always looking at growth. Any growth requires an executive decision, requiring due diligence, and due diligence in itself is not an absolute process, and so nothing's perfect. And so you can get these growth opportunities wrong.
The information you have at the time, if external things happen to other companies, you don't necessarily have all that information when you're putting a plan together, and so a setback is inevitable.
What would you tell business owners about their ability to plan and to protect their company against setbacks?
I think that you should always establish the downside exposure to any change to your core business. If you understand what your downside is, you can plan and mitigate for that occurring. The best ways we have found of doing that is to bring in expertise of the industry to advise.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask for help and have that conversation with external.
Can you give us an example where your business suffered unnecessarily, which if you planned better, perhaps you could have changed that?
Indecision. Sometimes we have been indecisive about things, and that harms our business.
I believe that there is no such thing as unnecessary suffering. I think that as a company grows, you have to plan for outside of your comfort zone. And anytime you're outside of your comfort zone, suffering normally ensues. But that is a catalyst to mandate you change and that you put a viable, strong foundation underneath your company.
Anything you can tell us about the importance of having a good partner in the business with you, a good buddy in the trenches?
I think for me, without Alison, I wouldn't have attempted to push for the success we now enjoy. Absolutely. The trust and the commitment to Chief Ventures that we've done, for me, the main reasons I do what I do.
Yeah.
We've made those decisions
Together.
together.
When you have a small business, if you're a married couple, we've enjoyed success because we're both in it together. If I had a job or another career and I couldn't be involved in the success of the business or the downside, it would be a totally different animal. It'd be a totally different business. I mean, he's my best friend. If I can't do something, I'll talk to him about it. You know, that ability to have that in a partnership has definitely helped towards our success.
Lines of communication
open. That's a big deal.
A problem shared
Yeah, really.
is a problem ate.
Yeah. So thinking of everything you've learned through these experiences, what could you tell other entrepreneurs about things you might do differently if you had to do all over again?
I think the key for us would be bringing in the expertise at the business level, because we would spend 80% of our time as engineers and only 20% of our time running the business, when in fact you very quickly have to be very good at 80% of the time running the business and 20% of time being in your comfort zone as an engineer.
What do you see as your challenges going forward, and how can you use what you've learned from the wheels coming off to better improve your future results?
I think that our challenges now is planning for success. As our company grows, we find ourselves now dealing with Fortune 500 companies where they have got depth and strength with legal contracts. So it's incumbent on us to further strengthen at the executive level and guidance level the expertise that we would bring in external to the company and building the relationships.
Yeah. Hey, Peter and Allison, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I know it's not easy talking about times that have been difficult and how you've surmounted those obstacles. Thank you for taking the time, and for all of you, they've shared their story with you so that you can learn from it and carry their lessons into your business. Let's take a moment to summarize some key points that they brought out. 4 things. Number 1, find good external guidance early on to help you on your way. Number 2, keep lines of communication open to all your partners and to your external advisors. Number 3, understand your downside exposure. And point number 4, there's no such thing as unnecessary suffering. You learn from your mistakes. When you're outside of your comfort zone, that's when you learn. And for all of you, they've shared their story with you so that you can learn from it and carry their lessons into your business. If you have a situation that you're uncertain how to deal with or would like to plan ahead to avoid some difficulties, we're here to listen and help you get where you want to go.